Off the desk.
When your voice doesn't make it to tomorrow, me and Atlas can have a fun time.
Oh.
It'll all be good. He'll make references that I can understand. And, yeah, so we're going into game number 2.
You don't know DB Cooper?
No, who's that?
He's the guy that hijacked a plane and stole money and then parachuted out of it and was never
Monkey
found.
W.
Same way that Nuggery just realm warped and took the neck. I'm done with you. Get out of here.
I see what you mean.
No, you know what? You're a little too much of a... No, and actually, if you were a boomer, you'd probably know that.
I would know that, yeah.
Yeah, you're like a...
I'm such a millennial.
I don't know, you're a Homer Simpson. That's what you are.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Just stop.
I thought I was missing some kind of Simpsons reference.
Alright. APK banning the Akali Syndra and Set, as DAMWON banning the Pantheon, Rumble, and Kiana. And Set has been getting enormous amounts of attention. I believe that Riot Scruffy just released a VODs post yesterday, by the way, that talked about how, I think it's a 95% plus presence for one patch or more in Pro Play or something will result in nerfs. But Set did get nerfed.
Yes.
So in 10.3, which is next week, we'll see how much that actually sticks. And that'll be interesting, because there's been some mainstay bans. Also, 10.3 is the Akali kneecap patch, but then she did get micro buffed.
Yeah.
So, anyway, DAMWON, they're going to open with Aphelios here, as APK going to respond with Misfortune and Elise. These are all really standard openings. Honestly, we have not had much diversity outside of Hanwha Life in terms of
Hanwha Life
eSports.
They were the team that had a lot of diversity.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying right here that you were mistaking APK for Hanwha Life. I was like, what are you talking about?
Sure, I'm the one that's going on 4 days, or what? What is... Oh, man.
Hey, it's your favorite champion, Nautilus.
What?
Nautilus made it back.
Okay.
He's
I thought you
here
meant,
from the depths.
I thought you meant Aatrox over there.
Oh, no.
Not him?
No.
Alright, well, Leona is going to be picked up by APK, so we're just having handshakes all across the board here. Aatrox is going to be able to be flexed mid or top lane. APK now going to decide on what to ban away, as realistically I would assume jungler pinching should be the thing that would come in here. And that is what we're seeing so far. Rek'Sai going to be banned away. Banning away the Rek'Sai is a bit peculiar, because the Nautilus and the Aatrox are already selected, so those are just more champions that have to come into you, and you can draft around on R4, R5. Renekton now being banned away as a cliche, at least Renekton, but Renekton has been gutted so much by the removal of Spear of Sogen, and just seeing that as a combo in a vacuum. I mean, whenever Pantheon's open, are you going to ban Talia, or there's so many bread and butter combos that are very ridiculous and get given too much credit.
Jarvan gets taken away. Canyon's Jarvan was not exactly impressive, but...
Oh, DAMWON lost last game.
Yes,
even
they
though Nuggery stole it, DAMWON lost, okay?
Yeah, he hopped out of the plane after
the same way
stealing
that...
all the money.
Has it been long enough since Endgame? Can I
Avengers?
Endgame, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, well, Iron Man cheated. Alright, so that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. All right.
That's all. That's all I got for you. Mordekaiser.
I'll take your word for it.
Did you just say that you haven't watched Endgame?
Yeah, of course not.
Why
Why would I watch
I
that?
am done with you.
Why would I watch that movie? I wouldn't want to waste my time.
Oh my god.
LeBlanc is going to be the choice here.
All right, DAMWON going full sinner.
Ooh.
And there's no sinner better than Lee Sin.
It's in his name.
It's in his name.
He gets it. he's really on board with it, at least. You know, he's very genuine with the with the way he likes to play. He's not like a faker or anything like that. Not the player, you know, like somebody who's not true to who they are.
DAMWON, they have to get ahead with this team composition, and APK.
Wow.
So like I said, on R4, R5, you can actually draft champions that are designed to handle champs just coming into you recklessly. And that's what we just saw out of APK. R4 Mordekaiser, R5 Lissandra. And this is a Lissandra pick, or Lissandra spot. It's really hard to find Lissandra spots nowadays in the current meta where you wouldn't just otherwise prefer a LeBlanc. Or not a LeBlanc, Cassiopeia. But because the Nautilus single target lockdown that Lissandra's able to disrupt with her own ultimate, or just by using this Anya's Hourglass or stopwatch at several stages of the game, but also the amount of melees on the side of DAMWON, the fact that LeBlanc has to jump into her, Lissandra offers a lot more nuance than a Cassiopeia would be able to give. Even though Cassio is a really good pick here, there's just something a little bit better that Lissandra offers, and then also brings that kind of priority that one would want in the mid lane matchup once you have the post recall. So, APK with a much stronger draft. Is that going to mean anything though, as Nuguri and Showmaker are both on champions that allow them a lot of control and authority inside of the game? Canyon also on the Lee Sin. Just because APK have a much stronger draft, this is something I would personally say is like a 75-25 kind of a win.
Yeah.
I don't know if it means anything again because of skill discrepancy.
Well, we'll have to wait and see here as we are going to hop on the Rift for game number 2. If DAMWON can throw the caution to the wind from the draft and say, we're going to win anyway. Does not matter what you want to pick. As Kaney going on to a very different style of pick. We saw the Kiana out of him the first game around. Now he's going on a Lissandra with the Aftershock. So still going to pick up that rune after the changes.
And we'll see how the early game transpires. That's mostly what we have to pay attention to. First dragon of the game, I do believe, is a Cloud Dragon. So it's actually pretty big to pick up for APK. Less so for DAMWON, as a lot of their champions actually do tend to build CDR.
It's a lot of important ultimates on the side of APK as well, for the 4 of them, minus Elise. Bit of a scanner coming out here from Beryl. It's not going to find anything. As now they say, okay, you use that up there. You're not going to have it for the bottom side. We can place an early ward down just to make sure if Lee Sin wants to sin, he will be spotted the whole way through.
Taking a look at the runes everywhere. Gathering Storm on MF and on Aphelios. Everything else pretty standard across the board. Although, I guess she doesn't have another rune. Lissandra does have the Demolish. Demolish is a significantly worse rune nowadays, and here we go. Sinning as per usual.
God dang it, Lee Sin. Is that all you know how to do?
Alright, so really sets the pace in mid. You can see the lane control by Showmaker pulling the wave in. This will make it so that Kaney has to overextend potentially, or just use more of his mana in order to get something accomplished. Nuguri crashing second wave, doesn't really have anywhere to go, and because he does this, he misses out on the ability to cheat a recall by keeping the wave. Had he kept all those spellcaster minions about 6 centimeters more to the left before entering into the turret, he can use them to help him shove the cannon wave really fast. Leave Mordekaiser left underneath his turret trying to CS because he can't poke Mordekaiser, you can't really do anything to him. And then you can recall, you can purchase a Cull or a Ruby Crystal or something of that, come back to the lane on wave 4 and 5, have it on your side of the map, and make Mordekaiser overextend while being in close proximity to your Lee Sin. Would be really, really good. Also, have I told you about Trinity Force Atrox? We're not going to see it.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into it.
It's kind of a myth. That
it is a bit of a myth.
You think it exists, or that it has existed at some point in life, but not so sure. Well, that's kind of giving it away, as Flawless is going to put his spider all the way forward, and they do know that he is down there as well. No Lissandra in the mid lane. Where could she be? It's either back in the base or going for a roam. So Canyon was right in position just in case. He'll pick up his creds right away, so no harm, no foul for him. Really curious about the top lane again, because Ixu, even after getting that early gank off with Flawless to punish Nuggery's greediness in the lane, he still lost the lane really hard.
Yeah.
Which, not 100% sure if that should be happening, but again, it is Nuggery in the top lane.
Well, we will see what is going to happen here as Beryl looking for a hook of some sorts. There's no minions that were about to die, so that would have been a very peculiar trade timing. As we're just having ping pong happen in top lane, as not too much is being achieved. Ixu is getting comboed on.
I like that play.
You know, I don't know why Nuggery is not using Prestige Edition Atrox.
Is that the Moth? The Moth
That,
one?
yeah.
The Moth Atrox.
Prestige Edition Atrox, I really do think is the best skin. Mostly because win or lose, the opponent sees the Prestige skin, knows that it costs a lot. It's sort of like foiling out your deck in a trading card game.
Yeah.
And I really just think that it probably makes you play better. You know, results may vary, but
You think so?
I do
Getting
think so.
all the gold cards and stuff?
I think if you're an Atrox player, it's very important to have the Prestige Edition skin. I think you'd want to go into the store and pick that up immediately.
Okay.
Increase your skill level. Results may vary, of course, but...
Well, he's going to knock him out straight into the queue. And that was extremely easy to pull off as long as Nuggery hits the first Q to make it happen so that he can land that one. Ixu perhaps should have just flashed to begin with, but maybe did not expect Canyon to be there.
Well, at this point in the game, the Atrox getting a kill is very nice. Picks up the Kindle Gem as well as the Null Magic Mantle. Or the, yeah, Null Magic Mantle. I don't know why I just slipped up right there. Yeah. Don't make fun of me, Valdez.
That's the Null Magic Mantle.
Okay. Oh, top here?
He says, oh, I can kill top? I'm going. Dive.
He's not using F keys.
He's not using F keys. Inefficient. Very bad for mouse.
He is using the space key, though.
Nice. Good job. Great.
Yeah. Very
Didn't
straightforward.
say great, I added that in
No,
there.
yeah, that was an LS thing.
Yeah, I was... It's fine. Okay, so... Coming back into the game, mid lane is up, top lane is up. Bramble Vest completed for the Mordekaiser.
They got fighting up on the top side in the Death Realm. Also, Canyon, not the greatest spot here. Going to get cocooned up. Now Nuggery, I feel like we've seen this before out of this player. He is going to get 3-on-1 as he was pretty far down the lane after being put in the Death Realm and will be punished for that. Nuclear now going to get engaged on a big amount of burst damage coming in. Nuclear trying to root them down and flash, and he will. But another stun going to come down onto Beryl. It's all about if he can escape here with his life.
What?
The TP is going to come on in now. The heal being used. But Nuggery just going to turn here onto Secret. Takes the easy kill rather than going for Hybrid and trying to get greedy, as Hybrid did have his flash still available. And so that does mean it is turned around with DWG picking up the kill.
And so now they're going to be able to convert into plates, and now Canyon, who's actually behind in jungle XP, to Flawless. He's looking like that Dave Chappelle image, asking if he's got any more of that lane minions, as this is 10-2, so the jungle buffs are not present in this patch.
Yeah.
So anytime that the jungler has the opportunity to get some of those lane minions, they definitely want to take it. It's the most important thing.
Feels so good.
Yeah, it's the best time of the day for them, as Nuggery He already ate the majority of the wave, so it's not like he's losing out on too much, but he does end up dying. Take a look at this trade. Nuclear and Beryl, they want to try to crash in this wave, but it's such a bizarre positioning by both of them as they're approaching. Nuclear flashes away and cleanses away. You can see Beryl, he's playing a game right here because he obviously can't queue into Secret. Teleport comes out. Hybrid, had he been spacing this a lot better, I'm pretty sure they can kill Beryl and then go 1-for-1, and then he can get out. But Teleport came in from Nuguri. Only one play down in bot. Nuguri back now up in top lane. Almost has the phage completed. Showmaker landed that chain.
Yeah, and he's got a second one where that came from.
And
nice
that is a
amount of
lot
damage.
of damage. Yeah, that's quite a bit. He's going to go for another distortion, except onto the minions here. He may have just given up on trying to kill Kaney. Yeah. Someone needs to Romanize this guy's name.
Romanize it.
That's what it's called, right? Romanization?
Well, from Hangul.
Yeah.
Yeah, you Romanize it, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, we got it. Kaney coming up on the third. That's not Romanization. Yeah.
When you get the Korean letters written, it's not Romanization.
When you take the Korean name and then Romanize it, it would not be spelled like
Beryl.
that.
Oh, Beryl. That's a really unfortunate position right there on the wall. Had his flash, but just decided I'm dead. That's about it. You got to be really careful when you're going up against Leona like that. Canyon looking for the kick on the Flawless, but he is just going to flash away. TP from Showmaker may have been a bit of overkill, but either way it is going to save Nuclear in the bottom side, and no one will die.
Well, Kaney now managed to shove in the entire wave. LeBlanc going to have to decide what she wants to do with it now. Also, Showmaker with the Merc Tread boots, so no lost chapter, not a lot of sustain. As Beryl, really important that he get that ward. Eats the entire bullet time. Just wanted to make sure that they couldn't see his final resting place.
Yeah. But then they just danced on his final resting place after they killed him. Does not matter.
Ocean Drake coming up in 20 seconds.
Wow, that's big jump up on there as Nuclear. He is going to get slowed up. He tries to clutch it, and nice sidestep, but not going to sidestep this one. As the burst damage will come in, but the exhaust may save them. No, not with the MF coming on in. As Flawless is going to have that repel and will get to safety. The 3-on-2 comes to fruition again in the bot lane as they're bullying them down there.
And meanwhile, up in the top lane, the Aatrox not really achieving all that much because Mordekaiser, Bramble Vest plus Ninja Tabi. Very, very difficult for Nuguri to do anything there, but Rift Herald did get picked up. Hybrid up 8 CS right now. In bottom.
CS and 2 kills.
Yeah. Take a look at this one more time. They immediately decide to go on Nuclear, misses the Solar Flare, cleanses the slow, dodges the Zenith Blade, and then the Cocoon ends up hitting. Beryl tries to lock up Flawless, casts the exhaust to reduce as much damage as possible, but then Hybrid joins the fray, brings him down.
Yeah, had to flash to get on in there. Both Leona and the MF did to make that kill happen, but it's definitely worth it to bring down Aphelios once again. Now they have a 2-0 MF that is ahead on CS, as you mentioned. Having a grand old time down on the bottom side. The Mordekaiser this time around, kind of nullifying the top lane. The one guy that's really doing well overall on the side of DAMWON is the LeBlanc here, Showmaker. 126 CS. Halfway through the 12th minute of the game, as, oh boy, he is going to get locked down, though, by that ultimate. It's really hard to lock down a LeBlanc, though. You really have to chain every single CC to make it happen, and they were just a split second late, so Showmaker gets out alive.
Nuguri getting some turret plates up here in top lane. They're also summoning the Rift Herald here in mid lane. As Flawless and Secret rotate, Okay, they are going to actually manage to get some of the plates.
Okay. Yeah, bet they will. They're gonna pick up 2 of them. Maybe even that third one that did come originally. Ocean Drake coming up here as Ixu, well, he was doing better earlier on, but not so much anymore as he's getting just dove down here under the turret, though, in the Death Realm. Nuguri is just going to wait it out. Let's see if he continues on here. He is going to have that combo coming in. One auto is going to take him down. Nuguri just putting on a show in the top lane.
And so Nuguri now up there on the Aatrox, going to manage to get, well, he got 3 plates in total. It looks like he's not electing to actually stay to try to get that last one. And so Ocean Drake going to be picked up. Nuguri knowing that he needs to maybe teleport here.
Gonna go down as the LeBlanc Showmaker just so on top of his chains in this game. Another kill onto the MF that was all alone. Lots of squishy targets on the side of APK, and Showmaker and Nuguri just making quick work of them here. Kaney, he will survive for now, and he will survive for good.
That's a little bit of an example of the difference between Lissandra and Cassiopeia. As minor as it is, this is a very repeatable situation that what we just saw. The Nautilus hook can't really get onto her, then she's able to escape with her Frozen Claw. She also has just so many options available that even in this brief moment, it's really nice to see. And yeah. So I got top. Mordekaiser no flash. Let's take a look at the replay here. And this is why Aatrox did not elect to stay in top lane. He wants to teleport into the fight. He ends up bringing down Hybrid. And now the game really does spiral completely out of control from here. 4,000 almost gold advantage. Ocean Soul or Ocean Dragon for DAMWON, as Infernal Soul is going to be the one that is coming up. Now, APK is teleporting.
And Nuclear has Flash and Cleanse available, is going to get out of there.
Kaney was...
Kaney.
Add a Y, man.
No Ys in this game, except Hybrid.
So...
Kaney.
Then why'd you say no Ys?
No. I thought there wouldn't be Ys, but actually I was wrong.
Okay.
That was kind of a Twitch reaction to go for the teleport to try to collapse onto the 80 carry.
Very panicked.
Yeah.
Because even if they end up killing Aphelios there, they don't get anything else. You're not going to get the bottom tier 2 turret. You're not getting mid tier 1 somehow magically. There's nothing of real value to get. Now, Death Realm is up on Mordekaiser. So Aatrox just has to respect that, backs off a little bit. Nuguri and Showmaker leading the charts with Hybrid being only about 60. Never mind.
Okay, ults are coming down. They really want to kill this Lee Sin, but Flawless is going to get locked up. Showmaker, though, going to try to get in there. We'll see if they can punish him for it. Lots of damage coming out of Hybrid, but not enough to lock anyone down. You can see that's really all that APK have in the tank when they do go for a kill onto one of these members. So they're all very slippery. Adding in Nautilus to be a front line and add some CC. And when you are behind like this, about 4,000 gold, it is going to be hard to lock someone down like that. So they say, how about a rotation onto Nuguri? He's known to push. Ixu getting it started already. Canyon is here trying to burst down Hybrid, already doing a nice amount of damage, but will get stunned up and put in the death chamber. But Aphelios, he's having a fun time, is able to get on in there and take him down. Nuguri, in the meanwhile, did survive 1v1 against Ixu. And Showmaker says, I'll just TP to the bot lane. I'll be totally fine.
Yeah, and he's taking the bot tier 1 turret. He's going to get all that gold for himself. Also picks up a minion wave. Lissandra now going to rotate down to bottom to meet that cannon wave that's coming into the bot tier 2. We got 1 minute until Infernal Dragon. And LeBlanc has a Kindle Gem, which is definitely a peculiar itemization choice here.
Protobell.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
but
that is peculiar.
That's definitely very bizarre. Surely picked up by Nuggery, going to be commanded by him this game. Showmaker trying to do a lot of poke onto Kaney.
Okay, we'll accept Keeney.
You know what? Lysandra.
Yeah,
right,
just call him Lysandra.
I've had enough.
I do that sometimes. Say the champion name instead.
So Lysandra getting poked out like that, not having teleport available means that it's going to take some time to join the fight here surrounding the Infernal Dragon. Also, Canyon might just steal away the blue buff. Or Flawless might smite it.
Okay.
And now that is one less smite that he has.
He's got another one coming on in here. Just look at the burst damage that comes out of LeBlanc on one of the squishies. Elise immediately half health, but Nautilus in the front is being burst down, but he has a great item. It is called Stopwatch. It's going to give them so much extra time to survive. As everybody now just being burst down by the side of DAMWON, smacking them with their wallets, as Atlas would say. That is exactly what's happening here. Lysandra, she survives, but she just kind of wishes that her team was in a better standing here. The pick was good. She is 1-1, 1-0-1, but she can't do it all by herself, unfortunately.
Well, Shirley being summoned in bot lane, Canyon soloing the Infernal Dragon. And this is really spiraled out of control. 7,000 gold advantage here. About to be even more when you factor in the Infernal Dragon. As Beryl, Ixu, I don't really know what he was totally doing there on the Mordekaiser with his whole combo sequence. And then watch right here as the Luden's Echo proc. Boop. Bops right onto Elise.
Yeah.
야 사슬 무대 사슬 무대 잘 때렸다 야 리포 노플
That's saying misfortune to flash. Well,
yeah. You can see from his view, he was trying to land a chain to hit the
now,
wolves, and that's why it bounced.
That's the pro view. I was reading some comments in the Reddit thread yesterday that said that LCK Pro View isn't available.
Yeah, I think it's only available in Korea, unfortunately, through SK Telecom, from what I know. But we do have a one-on-one here. Zixu's not having a lot of fun. Is going to be able to bop Nuggery back here. Now it's a one-on-two. Gonna flash in, try to burst him down. I don't know if that's gonna work as well. Flawless gonna make this a lot harder. Nuggery missing that one as here comes Nautilus and the gang of all of his friends are gonna help him out as Flawless. He's so angry right now that he was not able to pull that one off, and now it is just a massacre in the bottom lane. A triple kill for the Lee Sin.
I feel like that really was Flawless for the for Nuggery there.
Yeah,
you know?
It was.
I think that was, you know, I can't even make puns with their IDs. Sucks, man. I was gonna try to do something, but also Spirit Visage on Nuggery actually helping out a great deal there. Those were all three of the magic damage champions on the enemy team. So
I love how immediately we go into pro view of Nuggery.
Talking about who has ultimates. Overall, really good control. Previews are really interesting to watch.
Yeah.
If you do ever make use of them. There are some subtle things that, you know, maybe aren't totally obvious, such as mouse cursor proximity to champion, which is what I
That's your new
often
thing to talk about.
Yeah.
I've noticed. Every time we get into Pro View, now it's all about proximity.
Because I've seen so much from, you know, watching streams or even watching other Pro Views from some Western players, and it's really sad to sometimes not see something like this.
Oh, boy.
When you look.
Getting in there deep. Did Showmaker go too far? No, he's LeBlanc. As as he's just looking to go in even farther if he could, but this is going to say APK. If you want to get near me, you're probably going to die. And now it is just the very systematic destruction of all of these turrets, one by one. Game feels pretty over here, 23 minutes in, 10,000 gold ahead. Really feels like the top side of the map, specifically, Nuggery, Canyon, and Showmaker have had highlight plays. And yep, there's another one. Just how about we just show off for the fans?
Yeah.
Right at the end, you know. You thought you had an 80 carry? Well, you don't.
Now, even though APK, they have a stronger late game, they're not going to get there. They would be 15, 16 minutes away of playing a 10,000 gold deficit, which is just not going to happen.
Well, everybody's just being an elite down here, and Ixu somehow is going to win that fight. In goes the LeBlanc, is just distortioning on everybody up on the top side. It's disgusting. And Lysandra is going to get away. Canyon, you got to love it. He's not going to let Ixu get away alive. He's just waiting for the shield to go down, and we'll take him out there at the end.
I like how he dissipated.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Mordekaiser.
Mordekaiser.
Yeah. Well, one inhibitor, the other one exposed in bottom lane. DAMWON just going to reset one last time. Although Infernal was coming up in 10 seconds, I'm not sure why they wouldn't burst that down, then reset. So you can see Nuggery just being a little bit overeager down there, fighting Mordekaiser underneath that tier 3 turret. And, alright, so one little tidbit I can talk about, given that the game is over. Some people probably look at this and they're like, well, how does APK's team composition, how is it actually better? The way that the LeBlanc, Aatrox, and Lee Sin eventually end up itemizing is they get magic resistances that, outside of Aatrox, they really don't want to be purchasing. The Hex Drinker on the Lee Sin doesn't really matter when you're fighting a 4 or 5 item Mordekaiser, or even a 3 item Mordekaiser. It also doesn't matter against the Lysandra. If that's mattering against Lysandra, you're probably CC'd up or already dead if you're on even footing. And so these are items that you're being forced to build for no reason, whereas the items that they're building that make them tankier or allow them to continue on and sustain fights, they're the ones that they already want to be building in the first place. So it sort of staggers your itemization and then you're playing into them over and over, and they can function with lesser gold, but when the gold gap is 11,000, 2 Infernals, and level discrepancies, yeah, it's not going to look too pretty. But the other problem is the LeBlanc will eventually have more difficulty engaging if they were on even footing. Suddenly Lysandra R on LeBlanc is a really big problem. And then all of the disruption that is present on APK's team composition is really good, but they didn't make it there. They were having really stable laning phases, and then it all just blew apart.
Yeah.
Or fell apart in a very short amount of time.
Canyon says, I don't really need your guys' help, but if you want to make it happen quicker, we can get some help and 2-man it. Kaney in a bit of trouble here. You can see that he wasn't able to get that Aftershock proc. Nautilus here just trying to zone him out. He's going to be forced to flash over the wall. The Baron not going down all that quickly. Canyon going to get a big kick down. Secret trying to get in there, but Nuggery's in your backline, and there's nothing that you can do. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Although Hybrid is going to be able to flash away. He is the only one that does get away with his life. We got TPs available on Showmaker and Nuggery. They will go in to try to end this game lickety-split.
And that's going to be all that they wrote. So, for what was almost a Game 1 victory for APK to this game, looking a lot more like what we expected, where despite the lane matchups being the way that they were, Nuggery and Showmaker still just won regardless, and had a lot more influence in doing it.
He got the kill. It's all worth because he was able to pick it up. He's going to net Secret and Flawless. How about Kaney? They're going for it. They will pick it up. Triple kill ends up being the play as she
well.
But he was actually the literal Servant in game number 1 that got killed early so that he could teleport perfectly to try to end the game.
Yeah, I mean...
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Unbelievable play out of Nuclear. He should have gotten the player of the game.
He should have, actually.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Isn't Doctor Strange called Lord Supreme or something? I don't even know.
Yeah,
you don't even
probably.
watch Marvel. Get out.
Isn't that DC? I don't know.
I don't...
Aren't they the same thing?
What?
What is X-Men? Is that DC?
Oh my god.
I'm just
The
doing
only
this to troll you
thing,
now.
the only thing more unclean than you right now was that Lee Sin kick on Elise at Golden. Okay?
I mean, that's Lee Sin, right? He's the biggest sinner of them all.
Valdez, I don't want to hear it. You're going in.
We got another series
We gotta
to
talk,
go.
yeah.
We got a whole other series to go. And that second series should be a bit more interesting.
Yeah.
As it is going to be Genji up against Griffin. People are still, I feel, struggling to place exactly where Griffin is as a team. Genji was one of the rosters that everybody said was going to be top 3.
Yes.
Whereas Griffin, everybody's still unsure.
Griffin had insanely strong draft edges, if I recall, and ended up just not really winning the games. Tarzan, obviously, I mean, he went from the king of the jungle to George of the jungle in literally the span of one split, obviously being surrounded by different teammates. And Sword was actually one of the stable pieces in their last game.
Yeah.
But
it's surprising, to say the least.
Yeah. I mean, you have to feel pretty okay with how things currently are.
For sure. I mean, Griffin, I think they absolutely could put up a fight against Genji. Genji have a nice stacked roster, but it's early on in LCK Spring. I mean, there's so many more games to play and months to play for the teams to get their chemistry all together and for everybody to kind of get on the same page. So for right now, I wouldn't say it's a toss-up, but definitely some things can go wrong where you may not expect them, or maybe some things go pleasantly right for your team. So Nuggery, we both voted for him for player of the game for game 2, and I would expect to just hear only from him on stage. Yeah, there it is. We didn't want to spoil it, but thank you, production, for giving it out to us, as the damage taken per minute was over 1,000. He still managed to do so much in this game.
This was his teleport down in bot lane to turn this around, as well as his solo kill there as he just stabs the Mordekaiser. Now, another cool thing about this was also he was the hero of the game in game number 1, so hopefully we get to hear about that in the interview. As right here, this was just him putting on a little bit of a showmanship against the 3 magic damage champions. Now, he had Spirit Visage in that clip, so
yeah,
that was helping with his tankiness.
Lee Sin went in there and last hit all of the guys because he wanted to make sure that everybody knew that he was the best on the team. Picked up all those kills, and so very cool stuff. Apparently, Nuggery did get 11 out of 12 votes, so I wonder who that one guy was that voted for Showmaker.
What?
Or Kenyon. I mean, Kenyon did have a pretty good game as well.
I'm actually curious now.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to show it to us, but...
Probably not. Yeah. Probably not.
Would have to imagine no, but you guys do have the interview ready. I'm going to hand it over to Ji-sun for the translation.
Thank you very much, guys. Translation, and we'll be having a solo MVP or POG interview with Nuggery. He picked up 3 POGs so far. Congratulations on the first win. We had a bad start, so we were really sad. So really want this first win. So I'm really happy with this 2-2-0 victory and also the POG. So game number 1, you did pick up a win. However, it was a bit shaky. So what kind of feedback went back and forth? Kiana, Rumble, they were really strong in team fight. Also, Kiana was really good at roaming and picking up kills. So we said, let's just ban out those champions.
좋아진 모습을 2세트에 보여주셨고요. 그리고 1세트는 사실상 거의
And also,
경기를 너구리 선수가
It was so
끝냈어요.
close to losing that game one, but Noguri, you managed to just destroy the Nexus.
어떤 생각이었나요?
Who made the call to use the TP?
두 명인가 죽고 나서
We actually lost 2 players and they were pushing with inhibitors, so I knew that even though if I just join or group up with my teammates, we would fail to protect that inhibitor, but after that actually players just tried to base and set up in their base, so we communicated with me and Beryl, so we just decided to go with TP and just go for two-man backdoor.
아마 넥서스가 아니라 너구리 선수가 끝날 수 있는 상황이었거든요. 이때 무슨
So,
생각이나요? 아무 말씀
what was in your mind when you're taking down the Nexus?
집중해가지고
I was really focusing in that situation.
어떻게든 밀어야겠다 약간 이
I was thinking that I have to push it, I have to push it, I have to just finish it. I didn't really calculate everything, but someone told me Aphelios is also coming to the base, so I thought I was gonna die, but I was lucky to break it down.
만나봐야겠죠. 네, 지금부터 함께 하시죠.
So this is the moment we mentioned.
감정적이었는지 아니면 이상적으로
Were you
끝낼 수 있다고 보셨나요?
getting really emotional at that moment, or were you able to remain cool-headed?
누가 올 수 있다고 이제 말을 하거든요.
So someone told me Aphelios is also grouping up, so I thought I was close to dying, but I guess I was still a bit lucky because I took one rune with the attack speed. Maybe that snowball to the backdoor.
모르는 상황이었는데
제가 라이즈 할 때 CS를 너무 많이 놓쳐가지고
Because I always miss so many CS in the early phase, so I actually took the attack speed rune, and I didn't really expect this would end up actually winning the backdoor.
완벽하게 마무리를 했습니다. 그리고 두 번째 세트.
So game number 2.
선수가 가장 빛났죠.
Noguri, once again you got the POG. You were the highlight of that game. What was the team's communication in that game?
경기에 이기는데 좀 너무
Well, even though we got game number 1, our performance was really bad, so we weren't in a good mood. So we wanted to just cheer up, and also we knew that APK were good at team fights and also roaming, so we wanted to shut those plays down, and we just want to have the games we wanted.
이제 다이브하자고 캔yon 선수 부르는 상황에서 탑 P1, 탑 P1
And when you were calling Kenyon
이게
for a turret dive, you actually made a false call saying he only has 1 HP.
말하고도 약간 아차리 싶었는데
Well, I knew that was a mistake, but
다이브하자라는 말을 그냥 탑필 약간 이런 식으로
I just wanted to say let's do a turret dive, but I made a mistake in saying it to top 1 HP. I know it's a lie, but Kenyon also used to it, so I pinged him and he said, oh, this is viable, let's do this, so we made it happen.
네, 어쨌든 상대뿐만 아니라 우리 팀도 유인하는 그런 콜을 보여주셨습니다. 그리고 너구리 선수가 피지컬뿐만
And
아니라
also,
그
Noguri,
시컬까지 잘하는
now
장면들이
you are more intelligent than before because we have this highlight we want to focus on here.
이때 이제 팀이 오고 있었는데 생존각은 어떻게 보셨나요?
So, did you expect that you will be able to survive?
말고 다 AP라서 약간 죽을 각이 없다고 했는데
Well, actually, yes, because two of the players were AP damaged, so I didn't see any angle for me to die.
약간 그래서 거짓 내가 이거 이긴다.
So I actually told my teammates I can win. You guys don't have to just come for a backup. I also lied there, but luckily my teammates were following for backup, so I was able to survive and also pick up kills.
많이 해서 그런지
Because I lied too much,
알아서 판단을 해서 왔는데
well, my
이번
teammates
판에는 다
can't tell whether it's the time to come or not.
공격성은 그대로 유지하면서 좀 전에
So you are still aggressive as before, but you are now smarter now.
아니 너구리가 저걸
So,
참아라는 장면들이 많았어요.
There are some solo
어떤
kill
거가 있었나요?
level moments, but you just hold back.
약간 못 참겠다 싶을 때가 많은데
There are some moments I
못
cannot
참겠다
hold
싶어서
back,
하면 다 지더라고요.
but
그래서
when I go in for those moments, I always end up
손해보고
dying.
그래가지고 좀 코치님이나
So our coaching staff and my teammates,
especially
especially Burrow, he is my inhibitor.
하고 싶다고 하면은 약간
When I say I wanna like go in for this, he always says no, you shouldn't go.
야, 너구리 선수도 이제 점점 발전해 가고 있고 팀적으로도 너구리 선수의
So
플레이에
Noguri
더
and
적응했다는
DAMWON Gaming is
느낌이
growing
드는
up
오늘
as a whole.
경기였습니다. 자, 이제 너구리 선수가 팀의 POG를 모두 차지하고
So
있어요.
you are taking all the
계속
POGs
이어나갈
in your
욕심이
team.
있으신지 들어보고 싶어요.
일단은 경기력
First of all,
경기력 자체가 좀 올라올 필요성도 있는데
we really need to kind of step up our performance, but last year I picked up a lot of MVPs, but in the end, I didn't get a lot. So this year I'm trying to get more POGs. Then what's your personal goal? We never made to the finals, so we all are dreaming for the final stage. I hope Nuguri and DAMWON Gaming can make it to the final stage and pick up the trophy. This will be the end of the interview. Wrapping up with the message for the fans. You know, the virus is spreading all around the nation, so I want to thank all the fans watching at home. I'm really sad we cannot have the fan meets at the arena, but I always appreciate all the love and support. And please stay safe and take care. So this will be the end of the interview with Nuguri, and I'm gonna pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
Thank you, Ji-sun, as always, for that wonderful translation. Always good to hear from Nuguri as well, as he's always very animated in the interviews and gives some great insights there. So DAMWON, they take the loss against SKT, but they smash
T1.
APK.
T1.
Yes, T1.
Come on.
Sorry. I wonder which week I'll get that down. Maybe week 3 or 4. Maybe I'm too optimistic. DAMWON, 1-1. Still early, but they get the win that they should have, and a loss that perhaps they should have as well, although it was very close against T1. Guys, don't go anywhere. We are going to be back here in about an hour, which I know is a long time, but when we do get back in an hour, it is going to be Gen G versus Griffin. As we mentioned before, Gen G, pretty stacked roster, everybody expecting a lot from them, but Griffin, still waiting to see exactly how that roster is going to pan out and just how good they can be. So this is going to be a big test for them up against Gen G. Again, we have an hour, so we're going to get some dinner. You guys can grab some popcorn, and we'll be back with more LCK 2020.